Hi folks, I'm Jay here with two guys on a ride. We're here in Des Moines, Iowa at the beautiful Concours d'Elegance. Here in front of us we have this beautiful 1964 Chevy Corvette. And here we have the family from A to B, here everyone of the Corvette. So here we have Tracy,
Hi.
her mother Sarah, her father
Hello.
Tom, and her husband Steve. And just run us through the story, please, because you told it earlier. I want the listeners to know. Tell us how this started.
Okay. So my parents at age 19, they special ordered this car, and they were only 19, and they special ordered it. They got it in Omaha, Nebraska, and they drove it for about 3.5 years, and they sold it in 1967 because my mom told my dad that they were gonna start a family. So it's kind of my fault because I was the first child, so it was my fault. And so they sold this car, and then it went down the road, and then back in probably 2016.
Yeah.
Is that in 2016? He went and found the car. He had the original bill of sale, the original Corvette card, and so we found out where it was. My daughters found it on the internet, and he went to go visit, and he got to drive the car, and he asked the gentleman that owned it, who had owned it for 42 years, he asked him if he would sell it, and he said he wasn't, he had no intentions of selling the car. But so then a few years later, 3 years later, I called him up because I knew that it was a big regret of my parents. They really regretted selling this car, so I called the gentleman that owned the car, and we talked for a little while, and I told him I wanted to restore the car and have it look exactly like it did when my parents bought it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And so he called me back in a couple months, and he said, I think I'm willing to sell this. And so we bought it without my parents knowing it. So for about 9 months, we had taken it to a restorer without them knowing it, and we live in the same town, which was kind of hard to not let them know about it. But for about 9 months, we were having it restored, and we thought it would be ready at that time in 2020, in the summer of 2020. But of course, COVID happened, so there was no having it done by that time. So we were afraid too many people knew about the car. So we took them on a tour of this restoration place and acted like we were just going on a tour. And but our car was there, and so we went around, and the restorer acted like he didn't even know us, and he walked us around and showed us all of his special projects. And then he got to our car, and he showed the frame. The body was off of it still. It was painted back to original blue. And then so he said, this is a 64 frame just like you would have. And my dad's like, yeah. He's like, where's the serial number? And he wanted to check the serial number out, and he couldn't remember his serial number, his VIN number. But so then he opened the paint booth, and the body was in there, and he said, well, this is the body that goes on this car. And he's like, man, that's Daytona blue. That's just exactly what I had. And our restorer, who knows this, says, yeah, that's pretty neat. And he said, well, the original owner came and cut these wheel wells out right here.
Okay.
And I had to fix that. And my dad's like, well, that's exactly what I did. And he said, my dad still didn't get it, and that's fine. So then he said, well, here's the motor. The motor, it's a 327 with 365 horse. And my dad's like, well, that's what I had. And still no. And so we tried to get him over to look at the frame so we could show him the numbers on the frame, so then we could figure out that it was his. And he was trying to get a picture in front of the body, which was kind of cute. But we finally got him over there, and we started reading. I read the number off the phone. We had the serial number on the phone, and we read it. And the restorer looked at my dad and said, "This is your car." And he said, well, it shouldn't be.
About that far off the ground.
He was in shock.
And I pointed over here to Sarah. I says, this is our car. And she says,
oh, yeah, you can't
oh,
hear me.
can't hear me. Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, go ahead.
I says, Sarah, this is our car. And she says, no, it's up in Lorenz, Iowa. She pointed up the other way where I'd found it. And then they finally told us it was our car. So, yeah, that was kind of the end of the story. But there was two people from Illinois that come over, and I didn't know why they were over there, and 2 from Wisconsin, car friends of mine, because I got a Camaro that I replaced this car with. And so I couldn't figure it out till we got to the end, and they were taking pictures and videos and blah, 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 and it was like, whoa, I didn't know why they were there.
Well, I mean, how out of it did you feel when, they're going around it like, oh, they had to fix the in the back, and then,
well,
Daytona
exactly
Blue,
what I did to it. I took a hacksaw and I sawed it out because I put bigger tires on it in the beginning, but we had mag wheels on it.
Well, yeah.
We had mag wheels on it, so that's, had to make room for them on the front.
Is it nice having it back?
Yes, very much so.
Right.
It's a beautiful car. It was beautiful when we got it, but it's much better, I bet. I can't tell.
And not just that.
Mom wants to tell a story.
No,
here.
I was just going to say that I really missed it because I was the one that got to drive it most.
Yeah, and
When we
where
were
did you
kids.
drive it to? When did you drive it?
I drove it to college. I went to UNI and I drove it up there, and then I drove it down to Newton where I student taught, and I said my status went up way up when the kids down there saw me in a Corvette, so it was a lot of fun.
She even took it to the laundromat when she was in college, and she'd come out and everybody be around looking at it. I was at work because I had to drive back
I can
and
see
forth.
why. I mean,
Yeah, she had about 12 stories with it.
Can we open the door?
Have Dad tell you about it.
I'll give it back to you,
Okay.
Mom.
Tell
No.
the story. Let's
Well,
hear about
take us around and tell us about the car. Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
Well, you want me to tell? Okay, well, the VIN number actually is underneath that glove box, but on the frame, when they showed it to us after 9 months, was on top of the driver's side, on top of the back wheel, and then it was on this side under the door. And but I couldn't remember the number. But after they told me it was our car, then I figured that out. It looked like a brand new car.
And everything's original, right? On the inside.
Correct. The
Original
interior
steering wheel.
was blue. It came that way. We had 2 tops for it, and they've got the other top. It's not it's a hard top. And the picture that we have on the bookwork of it, was that they have in front of the car here, was with the hard top. That's when we first got it. We only had 2 pictures of the car with Sarah and I, and Sarah was in it, and it was out in front of her parents' house, and I think they took it with a Polaroid. Her dad was a camera guy, but he had one of these with a flash on it, and he's the one that took it, I'm sure. Just 2 pictures is all we had of it that
Well, no, but
cool.
still.
Sarah's going to say something here. Mom's going to tell.
Yeah, no, I was going to say that we have the original wood steering wheel, which we ordered, and it's a 4-speed transmission, and I didn't know this, but they told us we have an FM radio in there, and somebody told me that really wasn't all that we needed because they only had about 2 FM stations back then in '64. So.
No, I had asked your husband earlier, and he says you guys only went 100. How fast do you say you guys went?
I say we went 105, and I was extremely worried, so I was not doing real well at that time. So I'm not. He says I can't see the speedometer, but I think I could.
Well, it's geared down so low it wouldn't go that fast. I told her that it'd have to be both feet on the foot feet, and we go off a cliff, we might get it up to 100 because it's geared real low. It's got a 411 rear end in it.
Well, you run us through the engine as well, because right, you told me earlier that the next step up from this was fuel injected right before.
Right. This is a 327 with a 365 horse, and the fuel injection was another $500, which was 10 horses more, and we figured $500 and some for 10 more horses wasn't worth it. So it had plenty of power with this thing. My best friend, that was our best man, he said we went for a ride in it, and he said that thing really set you back in the seat. He lives in Alaska now, but he talks about it's a horse. Here comes Mom again.
I have to tell you, it was kind of funny because when we went to out to Omaha to pick it up, I knew how to drive a stick shift, so he says, why don't you drive it? Now, so I said, I was used to a Corvair. And so I got in here and I tromped on it, and I think I gave him whiplash. And he let me drive for about 5 minutes. And he said, I think I'm going to drive now. This is a little bit too fast.
So, but from the time you ordered it, how long did it take to get to you then?
I think we ordered it in about 2 months. We got it in March, April maybe. We ordered it right after Christmas, January or February.
Okay.
Go ahead, Mom.
Yeah, we were married in December of 63, and we bought this in February of 64. So we bought it right away. And I was asking him this morning, I said, who was wanting a Corvette? And he said, well, I'm sure it was me, but I think it was me.
Well, and I know you said you had to get rid of it because of Tracy, but you guys didn't really downgrade. What did you guys get after this then?
Well, we kind of ordered a 68 Camaro SS 396, and I ordered the motor kind of after this one because it was a big engine, 350 horse. And what's wrong here?
I was going to say, we even ordered a wood steering wheel to match this car. We wanted everything on that Camaro to match this Corvette, but you couldn't. But and we actually still have the Camaro.
Yeah.
So
Got all the bookwork for it. The Camaro also has got a rear antenna, and that was like $9.50 for that on the Camaro, and it's on the back of the. I ordered it for that. You could do that. A few items just to kind of keep us thinking we had this car was the idea.
So having it back, the nostalgia that it brings. You're 19, you order. Does it bring back that?
Oh yeah, we feel like we're 20 now. Looking at this car.
Oh no,
we're not. We're
it's
77.
Yeah, no.
She's older than me though.
yeah.
She's 3 months older than me. We graduated together at.
3 months older than he is, and we've been married almost 58 years. But it was kind of funny because when Tracy went and bought the car, it was silver, and I go, oh no, it needed to be Daytona blue, and it got restored to where it looks just like when we picked it up.
Well, that's wonderful.
Probably better.
So we need to tell them about. So we needed to tell you about that now that it's been restored. We've taken it to NCRS in Cedar Rapids, and it got top flight.
Okay.
And we've gone to Bloomington Gold in Indianapolis, and it got Bloomington Gold there. So its next stop after this is actually to go to McCacken, which is Muscle Car and Corvette Nationals in Rosemont, Illinois.
Yep.
And it's going to go for the Triple Diamond.
Oh wow. I think you'll get it. No, you'll definitely get it with this kind of car. It's a beautiful car. This is the first thing I saw when walking this way, so it is definitely a showstopper. Oh, to wrap things up, tell me your favorite memory about this vehicle. What is yours personally?
Well, me personally, driving it. It was a fun car. I never raced it. I don't know. Everybody said you should have raced it because it was a fast car, but we used it just as a car. It was just a car. We loved it.
Your daily driver?
Daily driver, actually. We did get another car to kind of, because it was using so much fuel, I had to drive 100 miles a day to go to work, 50 miles round trip, but she drove it back and forth to college too. We kind of got it bought when we were young. Mom wants to talk.
What about you? What's your favorite memory?
No, I had a flat tire when I was driving it. And this nice man up there decided that he would come out and help me change the tire. But at that time, we had mag wheels on it. And first of all, he wanted to know where the spare tire was. And I said, well, it's under the back. And so then he says, well, these lug nuts, they won't fit on there. And so then he goes, oh, I said, I got the other ones in the glove box. And so he was really nice and changed my tire for me. So
Well, that was sweet. What about you, Tracy? What is your favorite memory about the vehicle?
I'd say my favorite memory, because we've just had it a few months, but my favorite memory is when we revealed it to my parents, and they really had no clue that it was their car, and just the kind of the shock look on their face.
Well, no, yeah, even just hearing it from you, to me that would be my favorite memory, just to see your guys' face and your jaw drop and just know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What yourself, Steve? What do you like most about
I guess my favorite memory is when I knew we were getting it back. When when he called and said he would sell it to us, and she hung the phone up and went in the bathroom and threw up. So that's probably my favorite memory.
Well, no, it's an emotional thing.
I was really nervous because I don't usually do that, and I just knew it was going to cost a lot and it was going to take a lot, and then to keep a secret like that for so long, that was going to be. So I was a little tummy upset.
Well, thank you guys. Thank you guys for sharing your story, all of you. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Sarah, Steve, Tracy. Thank you so much for sharing this wonderful story with us and our viewers, and the rest of everyone else here at the Concours d'Elegance. I hope to see you guys again soon. and I hope you guys get the triple diamond.
Thank
So,
you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you guys. Thanks for watching.